Okay, disclaimer for YouTube, this is an airsoft replica, just like paintball, it is a toy, it is not a real gun. Now let's get started with the video. Okay guys, so after 1.5 years or so, I am finally done with my VFC AR-15. This is completely teched out. There is nothing more I can do to this rifle to make it shoot better, to make it more lightweight. This is done. Let's get started. First, I'm gonna walk you through the externals, what I've done to it, what is attached, and then I'm gonna strip everything open, completely into pieces, and I'm gonna show you all the upgrades that I have done to this particular rifle to make it as light as possible, to make it as snappy as possible, because you know that I like snappy, fast, gas efficient, all that. So let's start from tip to butt. So here we can see I have the pick, which is not attached properly. I have the pick. Why do I have this? It's relatively heavy. I have more lightweight muzzle brakes. Still recording. I like the sound it makes. This makes this gun sound scary. It is, there is inside something. I don't know if you can see it, maybe here. I can show it perhaps. I don't know, there is just an insert. It just makes it sound louder. Then I have the Olight flashlight. It's the Odin Mini with a pressure pad, so I can just, switch the button. And what I like about this flashlight, why do I have it there, is the QD function. So I can remove this easily. Now I can push the button here, flashlight comes off, and I can take down this. I don't need to use it. I don't want to have this on my gun all the time because it just makes it heavier. If I know there is dark corners, I can very easily and quickly put it on. Now, this is a very, very lightweight package. I'm gonna put the weight somewhere in the corner. It is the most lightweight gun I've probably ever used. I don't think even AGs are lighter. Why? Because I have made a carbon fiber barrel. Maybe you can see it from the top. This is all carbon fiber on the inside. Handguard, I have no idea what handguard this is. Maybe you can see it. I'm gonna show it on the top. It's this handguard. I don't know, it's probably something from China. It just landed on my table and I'm like, okay, this handguard, it's cool, I'm gonna use it. Here I have the hand stop, the minimal stop from Novrich shop. I like it, it's minimal, it's lightweight, and it kind of helps me to put the rifle in my shoulder when I need it. And it also indexes my hand in the same position so that I can find the switch on the top every time, it's in the same place because my hand is in the same place. Great addition. Here I have a Ranger band, which is basically just an old tire, like the inside of a tire. You cut it in pieces, it's very strong and it doesn't degrade over time. And I use it for cables, for run cams, scope cameras, stuff like that. Mostly cable fixing. Then I have here this cord. So I don't want to put unnecessary stuff on my rifle, and to attach QD mounts or something like that, it will just take more space. I don't really like that, so this cord is perfect. I can put my MS3 Magpul link in there and it doesn't weigh anything and it is very secure in there. Since this is not a real gun, it is a replica, there is no heat coming off the barrel, so it will not melt or anything like that. Okay, moving backwards, the handguard has a hole right here because then I can just adjust the hop up on the inside very easily. I just need something pointy, I can stick it there and I can just adjust the hop up like that. It is the best solution I have found so far, probably the easiest solution as well, and really you just need a stick and then you can adjust it. Perfect. Here I have a red dot. This is just a normal, red dot, nothing special about that. It has a QD attachment. That is one of those things I would like to change. I don't like QDs because they usually don't work properly and I just want screws. I'm never taking this off. Yeah, it would save a tiny bit of weight, which would actually make a difference if there is just screws. So I would switch this to screws. The brightness is fine. I made cuts here on the side because I want it as light as possible and it looks a little bit cooler. Okay, this is all standard. Here you can see that I have anti-rotation pins right here. The same goes on the side, so it just doesn't come off. Of course, screw glue in there. That's what it should be. Here we have a trigger. I'm gonna show it on the other camera. Here I have a trigger, flat trigger. This is a 3D printed trigger. This is the standard one, just for comparison, 3D printed. I designed this, it works very well. It's not breaking at all. I like flat, and I don't care about the looks too much because, you know, when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on the field, do I see it? I don't see it. I only feel it, and the feel is great. And also I made it shorter, no magazine, so it breaks very quick, very fast, snappy. I just adjusted, you know, the insides or the surfaces, the height of the surfaces. This trigger, the original trigger, I thought it's fine. I mean, it's a trigger. When you pull it back, the gun fires, it works. But it was kind of mushy. I especially noticed that when I made this, that I kind of got used to it, and I, for some reason, put this back. I wanted to test something. And then I noticed how much of a slack there was, how unprecise this trigger was. So I'm pretty happy about this trigger. Okay, here I have enlarged bolt handle, charging handle, that's the proper way to call it. So yeah, it works just fine. I have the classic Magpul MOE stock, which is adjustable, and of course I have a tape here because the stock is wobbling, so a tape fixes it. Okay, not last, but second to last thing is this QD mount. This is FOB Defense. It's the real steel QD mount because I like this gun and I don't want to drop it. That's why it's real steel. It works just fine. Grip, IMI Defense. It's around 20 bucks. Great grip. I hate grooves on grips because I'm used to, you know, having my hand really high. I like high grips. And grooves, if I would have grooves, I'm exactly in the wrong spot. So that's why I prefer this, you know, no groove design. I also have this thing here, you know, storage space, and here I always have tools to adjust the end pass that is on the inside, and also this is from the pin that is holding the safety. I just kept it there. Also the nozzle thingy, the O-ring. I kept it there because I don't want to lose it. I want to keep it with the rifle. So these two tools, you know, you can see it, just a regular Allen key and a pin thingy, clip, I don't know how you call it. That's it. I don't see anything else on the outside, so now let's move on to the insides. I will also compare all the original parts. I will show you everything that I made, you know, to make it perfect, at least in my eyes. So now I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna disassemble everything and I'll be right back. Okay, now everything is in pieces, and now I have to make a very important disclaimer. I am all about lightweight, efficiency, gas efficiency, speed. So everything I'm gonna say is about, you know, lightweight stuff, making it as lightweight as possible, which means reducing the blowback, the kick in your shoulder a little bit. I take lightweight over heavy, slow, you know, even though it gives you a little bit more kick. So this build is for speed, efficiency. It's not meant to be as heavy kicking as possible. Okay, that's it. Let's get started with all the parts. Here we have the handguard, nothing special. There is the hole, just like I said before. And with that comes the barrel nut, which also needed to be milled to access the hop-up, or the hop-up adjustment more specifically. Okay, then one last thing I forgot to mention on the externals. I also have cord here because that allows me to attach 2-point sling right there. So cord, paracord, all good to go. When I'm already holding it, nothing really special here. I put a shrink tube on this thing right here because when the magazine is inside and it goes empty, this thing gets pushed up and it catches the bolt. So it was working, but this made me feel better that anytime the bolt should stay back, this is gonna help it, and it probably works even better now. I don't know. It's a little trick how to, you know, if you have issues with the bolt lock, that's a good way to solve it. Next thing, I also drilled bigger holes. I'm gonna try to show it. I also drilled bigger holes here in the safety so that it clicks better, it clicks more. So just take it out, make the holes a little bigger, you are good to go. I also laced this part because it wasn't really working properly, so this is now a tiny bit different, not by much though. Also, it needed a little bit of work here, but those are all little details. And one important thing which makes your life way easier, so there is a pin right behind here. There is a spring and a pin here that holds the safety, this thing inside, makes it captured so it doesn't fall out. A good thing is to take a thread tab, I think it's a tab, and just make it threaded, this hole on the inside, and put a set screw in there so that the spring doesn't jump out every time you remove the back plate when you remove the stock. So, okay, so here I have two 3D printed triggers, nothing special about them. I just made it beefier and I adjusted the height here, and you know, and I was kind of surprised that plastic, it's PLA or whatever. I actually have a carbon fiber filament, but even PLA is enough to, you know, hold the hammer back and it doesn't really wear out. I was really surprised that 3D printed triggers work just fine. Okay, we have the triggers. Let's move on to the next thing, and that is this part right here. Standard spring, I chose relatively lightweight spring, whatever. You can use the one you have, it's gonna be just fine. This part, this is actually the first big thing. I made this. Why? Because I want as lightweight as possible. So you can see that there is cuts everywhere. I even made a cut, you know, here. You know, I removed as much material as possible. It is super disgusting because a tip, put grease on the spring because then it will make it sound better when it's compressed in the tube. You don't get this ding ding sound as much when you put relatively a lot of grease on that. That's why my hands are like right now. Okay, also a lot of grease on this part. And for comparison, I have some other upgrade parts. I believe this might be the original. I don't know. I don't remember because I bought the gun secondhand. I don't exactly know which one is which. So I know this one is an upgrade part. There is already some pieces missing and they put a huge chunk of steel inside for more recoil. Let's measure this. It's 97 grams and there is some things missing. 97 grams. This one, maybe the original one, I don't know, is 61 grams and my is 16 grams. So almost 100 grams, almost 20. That's a huge difference right there. If you want gas efficiency, if you want speed, if you want snappiness when you fire a shot, don't put these ridiculous things in there. Just don't. I wouldn't ever, like when I saw it, I'm like, wow. Upgrades, huh? And they cost a lot of money. Okay, this you can make it yourself if you have the tools. I'm by no means a professional machinist or anything, but if you have a little bit of patience, you can do this relatively easily. Okay, that's the first part, 16 grams. Then we have the bolt carrier, and here screw glue, definitely screw glue on these two screws, screw glue here, everywhere. The nozzle is with NPAS, so that's good. I don't need to do anything with the nozzle. It is just fine. I was experimenting with the O-rings here on the inside. It doesn't really make it any better. It's meh. You don't need to do it. However, making it as lightweight as possible. Huge shout out to my colleague Yen. He is really an expert when it comes to GBBRs, and I got this from him. So he milled this surface here, this part here, and he drilled a bunch of holes in there. Also here on the inside, it's also milled. This is a Z parts steel carrier. I have the box somewhere. Z parts, I got it with the rifle. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy it because it already comes with really decent bolt carriers which can be milled. It's not pot metal like WE and perhaps other AR-15s. These are pretty decent. I would never buy an upgraded one because I don't see the need. I'm not saying it's not good, I just don't see the need. Okay, then it comes with weights. It comes with these little things which are super heavy, so you can add weight. I am removing weight. If you want, again, efficiency, blah, 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 don't buy these things. They are super expensive and why? This is 60, almost 60, 56 grams. Wow. And they include one more. 13, 14, okay. I kept it. I don't know why I kept it. Probably so that I can make this video happen. Okay, holes. By the way, how this works, you can actually screw it in. There is a thread, you can screw it in. Please don't do it. I mean, it depends what you want. This is how I like it. That's the bolt carrier, and I also, very important thing, I drilled 2 holes right here. Why would I drill holes here? So, I had an issue. I tend to use only the strongest gas with this rifle, even in the summer, and it's a little bit too powerful. So, when the bolt carrier goes back, it is actually so powerful because of the gas that it can rip out the nozzle, and it actually gets stuck like this. The bolt carrier stays back in the stock and I cannot disassemble it. I have to take off the stock, and I actually got damaged the nozzle. This is not a complete nozzle, but just to illustrate, this is where it's supposed to get stopped, and it actually kind of ripped it apart and it damaged the back piece with the what is that? With the O-ring that is sitting here. So I had to replace the nozzle. How can you prevent this? Drill 2 holes here. Why? So when the shot is fired, the nozzle stays forward in the chamber, the carrier moves back, it moves back, and now you can see that these 2 holes are actually empty. The nozzle is in this part, and at this point I want to cut off the momentum because it already has enough momentum to make the cycle. So it basically just releases the excess gas and it kind of dampens the impact. So it will make your rifle, you know, more durable in a way, or it will make it last longer because this it's like a overpressure valve or something like that. So until the nozzle reaches this point, the gas is still pushing the bolt carrier backwards, and now it releases it, it just dampens and it can go forward again. So that's why I have 2 holes right here. And I never had the issue again. So that is the bolt carrier. Now we move on to the barrel. So here you can see I made all this pretty much myself with Jens' help a little bit. We have a thread, it's aluminum, lightweight aluminum. So this, just so that you know, I used epoxy to glue it in place here and here. Also aluminum made by me. That's the hop-up chamber sleeve, or however you want to call it. And this weighs 50 grams. Do I have the original barrel here? I don't see it. I probably have it at home, but I guess it's gonna be 4 times the weight, maybe even more. So this super lightweight, this saves a ton of weight. Amazing, but you need to make it. So that's the barrel. Now we move on to the hop-up and the hop-up chamber. This is a TNT barrel. I would not buy a TNT because I like maple leaf more. I don't know why. I don't see a difference. This is accurate. It's just fine. It's okay. It came with the rifle, so I left it there. What I have as a nub, surprise, surprise, I'm only using a cable insulation. So you take a wire. It's a wire, it's just a wire, and you take off the insulation. I have a video on this. If you want to see where this comes from, just look up my video, the best hop-up nub, I believe. It is probably not the best, but it works great for me. It works actually so well that I just keep it there, and I'm not looking for another solution because I am happy with this, and I will put it back later. Okay. Next is maple leaf bucking. This is the Autobot yellow bucking. That's that. It's pretty dirty though. I should probably clean this rifle. Okay, this is TNT, whatever. That's the pressure thingy. It's rounded. It fits perfectly with my my cable insulation thing. This already came with the rifle. It's the sleeve for, you know, the chamber. So yeah, no issues there. It is heavy. I could save some weight with this. Maybe next time. What do we have? Is that everything? Okay. I also removed the gas block, which is just an imitation. This rifle is unrealistically lightweight, so I took even more weight off. This is there just for the looks, and you cannot really see it because it is hidden in the, you know, in the thing, in the handguard. So why should I keep it there? You know, it's like whatever. I just removed it. I don't have it there anymore. Here we have the pig. This is how the pig looks on the inside, and it makes it sound really nice. You can probably buy this somewhere. It's the Noveski copy. It works just fine. Other than that, the trigger is pretty much the same, all the parts. Like I said, I altered the safety and I have the 3D printed trigger. I am very happy with the quality of these parts, really. This, however, is not steel. The rest is steel, apart from, you know, my 3D printed trigger. The rest is steel. The hammer is steel, really nice. This is not steel. It is aluminum, hot metal. But the contact surfaces, as you can see here, where the wear mark is, are pretty big. So you won't get issues like with WE, you know, that this is just grinding off. And this is steel. It's like, this will work. It's not gonna be snappy. Like, steel would be nicer, but it is just fine. Pretty happy with that. But I made it better and it's 3D printed. Okay. Man, it's kind of hard to believe that this took me 1.5 years. I can go through it in a short video. Here I also have the real steel buffer tube. I was experimenting with this, but in the end I switched back. Don't spend money on stuff that you don't need. It came with the rifle, whatever. Even made in the USA. I don't know. UTG. Okay, it's UTG. It's a cheap real steel part. I should put it back together and weigh the whole gun, because I'm curious how much it actually weighs. I haven't done anything to the magazines. They work just fine. I like them. They hold decent amount of BBs. I never count in it because I frankly don't care that much. They are heavy though. They are heavy just like any other real gas mags. So that's nice. Okay, let's weight it. Okay, I have the rifle back together. Maybe somebody has noticed that here this pin is missing. That's the full auto sear. Why I don't have it? Because I don't use full auto. So that is missing. One more thing I would like to do one day is to put ambidextrous safety, preferably 45° there, but that I would require a lot of work and machining, and maybe I could do it. Ambidextrous, so I can, you know, shoot, and then I can flip it with my index finger to save again, because that's how I'm used to do it. But yeah. This works, it's fine. And also I would like to get this trigger CNC machine, and actually my friend is already on it, so maybe I am getting it soon, and that would be cool. But that's it. That's all I can do with this rifle. Let's measure the weight for, let's see, it has 2.2 kilograms, 2099 grams, so 2100 grams. That's without the magazine. I don't use sights because since I've been playing, you know, red dot never really failed me in the middle of the game. And in the end, it's not a real steel rifle, so that's why I don't have sights. Let's try with the magazine, which is full of BBs. Now the weight goes to 2,450 grams, something like that. And if I would put this thing on there, this is probably how I'm gonna run it without the pressure pad most of the time, because it is just way more convenient to just throw it in your pocket. And if you have dark corners, buildings, you can just put it on, and I can still engage the switch like that with my thumb over the barrel if I need it. Okay, now the weight jumps to 2,600 grams, which is below 3 kilograms for fully loaded, kitted, whatever gun, which is, in my opinion, really nice. Okay, that's been it for this rifle. I'm pretty much done with this build. I guess a lot of people would ask me now, hey, why didn't you choose GHK? And why do you have VSE? Why do you have this? Why do you have that? Put the questions in the comments. That's a thing for another video because it's been long enough, the whole video. Okay, that's it. See you in the next one. Oh, you know what? Maybe you want me to see how I'm shooting it, right? It's not full of gas. I love this thing. Okay, see ya.